Good afternoon. I appreciate, Karen, by the way, thank you. Thank you. It was a lovely introduction. And thank you to all of you for having me back. For those of you who are from the Atlanta area, hey, y'all. So I'm practicing some of my own diversity. We are going to talk today about this notion, this idea of inclusive leadership, because when it comes to driving inclusion, we know that as you look to inspire and create change, if you do that, you will get good things. We know we have higher levels of engagement. We know we get higher levels of productivity, innovation, creativity, all those great things. And by the way, for a long time, we hypothesized that if you had diversity, you would get those great results. Now we know for sure, it's not just a hypothesis, that that actually plays out. And it's done through some work and some amazing algorithms. My brain doesn't think that way. By a guy named Dr. Scott Page out of the University of Michigan. So we now know that having diversity yields good results with one caveat. And that caveat is that you have to have a leader who is leading inclusion strategically to really make it work. We also know from a leadership perspective, if you look at a lot of different assessments, two areas that leaders continuously fall short on are around agility and knowing themselves, knowing how you show up. As it relates to unconscious bias, oftentimes we think, and we've come with great knowledge and learning, and I think, you know what, I know it's the right thing to do to give my team great feedback, but do we tend to give our teams feedback the same way we like to receive feedback? Do we even ask the folks on our team, hey, how do you like to receive feedback? How do you like to be communicated with? Do we reward and recognize people the same way? Because that doesn't work for everyone the same way. And that's where some of my bias can be, some of the blind spots that we all carry as humans. Having bias doesn't make us bad people, it just makes us a human being. What we do with it, though, can cause us to trip ourselves up sometimes. So I thought I'd give you just a tiny version of our Delta Concepts half-day class here in a space of just a few moments. It is called Unpacking the Knapsack. This is based on an article written by a woman named Dr. Peggy McIntosh, and she talks about how we all sort of figuratively carry this knapsack on our back, and the knapsack is filled with all of our experiences, all the people we've met, the things we've watched on television. It's filled with your formal education, all those things that you might even be hearing right now, the things that your parents taught you growing up. I hear my dad in my head right now saying, the early bird catches the worm. Anybody grow up in a family that you were taught if you're on time, you're late? Anybody have that? That was my dad. I hear it, it's been tattooed on my brain. So we carry things like that with us all the time. So I thought we'd like to give you an opportunity, an invitation, to practice in this micro moment, to give you the opportunity to learn a little bit more, not only about yourselves, but perhaps the people sitting next to you, people that you know. When you came in the room today, this is my rhetorical question. Did you sit next to folks you know? Or did you purposefully choose a table filled with complete strangers? Our human instinct is usually to sit with somebody I know. There's comfort in that. We do the same thing as leaders oftentimes. I tend to lead and coach folks the same way I was led in the same way that worked great for me. But it may not work for everybody on my team. So let me give you an opportunity to kind of tap into your knapsack in this activity.